Today we're continuing with another modeling top list. This time it's all about French armor kits. I've put together a top 10 of some really cool models, from World War I classics to modern day beasts. There's going to be some rare stuff, some surprises, and definitely a few kits worth adding to your stash. So get comfy, drop a like, and let's jump right in. Kicking off the list is the AMX13 from Tamiya, a light French tank and a true Cold War icon. It was developed in the late 1940s and entered production in 1952. What made it stand out was the oscillating turret with an autoloader, a pretty futuristic idea for its time. The AMX-13 was exported all over the world, used by Israel, India, Argentina, and dozens of others. It saw action in countless regional conflicts, and while its armor was thin and the suspension a bit rough, it was lightweight, affordable, and easy to maintain. Now let's talk about the Tamiya kit. It's an older release, but one that builds beautifully. Parts fit great, construction is simple, perfect for beginners or those just getting into French vehicles. But if you're after more detail, open hatches, maybe even interior features, then check out the AMX13 kits from Tacom. They're more advanced and expensive, but you'll get a whole different level of complexity. Still, the Tamiya version is a classic. Smooth, solid, and a great introduction to French armor. In ninth place, we have a really cool hybrid, the German Martyr. I self-propelled gun based on the French FCM36 chassis from ICM. A bit of history. After occupying France in 1940, Germany captured tons of French tanks. And instead of scrapping them, they repurposed many as platforms for their own weapons. That's exactly what happened with the FCM36, a French light tank with a very distinctive rounded hull. The Germans removed the turret, mounted a 75mm PaK-40 anti-tank gun, and turned it into the Martyr I. These vehicles were used mostly on the Western Front for rear-line duties and anti-tank support. As for the kit, ICM did a great job with this one. It's not something you see every day, and that makes it stand out. The silhouette is super unique. French hull, German open-topped gun mount, good detail, especially in the fighting compartment. Assembly is smooth and well-engineered. Downsides? There's no engine interior. The tracks are a bit tricky, a mix of flexible and individual links, but manageable. Overall, it's a rare and atmospheric vehicle. Perfect if you like oddball conversions and captured tech. A French tank with a German twist. What's not to like? In eighth place, we've got the Panhard 178 AMD 35 from ICM, one of the most iconic French armored cars of World War II. It was designed as a cavalry reconnaissance vehicle, and by 1939, it was considered one of the most advanced in its class. The Panhard had 4x4 drive, decent protection up to 20mm, and was armed with a 25mm gun. Solid firepower for a scout car. Fun fact, after France's fall, many of these vehicles were used by the German army under the designation Panzerspähwagen P204F. They saw action in the East, in Yugoslavia, and even against resistance forces inside France. As for the kit, ICM gives you good quality plastic with crisp surface detailing. The hull and turret have all the right rivets, bolts, and panel lines. You can build it with open hatches, and the kit includes a basic interior for the turret and engine bay. Downsides? The tires are a bit simplified, and the instructions need close reading. Pretty typical for ICM. Overall, it's a solid and stylish model, great for building an early war French vehicle. The silhouette is unique, and the finished kit really stands out on the shelf. In eighth place, the EBR10 and EBR11 from HobbyBoss, and this is one of the most distinctive post-war French armored vehicles ever built. The EBR, short for Engin Blindé de Reconnaissance, looks like something out of 1950s sci-fi. Huge wheels, a tank turret, low profile. And yes, this thing was real. And it worked. The EBR had 8 wheels, but 4 of them retracted when driving on roads. It was insanely fast for an armored car, up to 100 kilometers per hour, and packed the same gun as the AMX13. It served from the 1950s through the 1980s in France, Algeria, and NATO exercises. As for the Hobby Boss kit, excellent detailing and clean molding, sharp body lines and turret proportions. The unique suspension design is fun to build. There are 2 versions, EBR10 with an early turret and EBR11 with the later AMX13 style upgrade. Downsides: no interior. Even though hatches can be posed open, the rubber tires could be a bit cleaner in shape. Overall, it's a visually striking model. Perfect if you're into Cold War armor or want something different on your shelf. It's weird, fast, and very, very French. At number 6, heavy firepower incoming. The AUF1 155mm self-propelled gun by Mang. This modern French artillery piece is built on the AMX-30 tank chassis, and it's basically France's answer to the Soviet Akatsiya and the American M109. Developed in the 1970s, the AUF1 features a fully rotating turret, high rate of fire, and advanced fire control. It's been used extensively by the French military, including combat deployment during the Gulf War, and it's still in service in countries like Saudi Arabia. Now, let's talk about the Meng kit. This is a high-quality modern kit with excellent detail. The turret, barrel, tracks, and external features are all well rendered. Parts fit well, and overall assembly is straightforward. What stands out is that Meng didn't cut corners. There's great detailing on the gun mechanism, hatches, optics, and storage bins. You can build it in a static display or as part of an active diorama. Downsides: no turret interior, which is a bit of a letdown, and the instructions can be tricky around the track assembly phase. Overall, one of the best modern SPGs in 1/35th scale. It's big, aggressive, and looks amazing, whether you're building solo or as part of a Cold War or modern-day scene. Coming in at number 5, the Leclerc by Tamiya. Undoubtedly, the most modern French main battle tank, available in 1/35th scale. The Leclerc is France's take on the high-tech MBT, light for its class, heavily computerized, and highly efficient. It features an autoloader, so the crew is just 3 people, and it has one of the most advanced fire control systems in the world. It entered service in the early 1990s and is used by France and the UAE. Now, the Tamiya kit. This is one of Tamiya's better MBT kits. It's not brand new, but it still holds up extremely well. The fit is near perfect. Classic Tamiya ease of assembly. Surface details like grills, optics, and armor panels are sharp and clean. Includes a commander figure and decals for multiple versions, including the UAE cons. No interior as usual for Tamiya kits. And the vinyl tracks might not be to everyone's taste, though they still look decent when painted. All in all, if you want a modern, recognizable MBT that builds smoothly and looks great out of the box, this kit's a winner. If you're craving more detail and complexity, you could look at Meng's version, but it's a step up in difficulty. At number 4, the Schneider CA by Hobby Boss. And this one's a historical gem. It's one of the first tanks ever built by France, and one of the first tanks ever used in combat. The Schneider CA entered service in 1916, right in the middle of World War I. It looked like an armored box on tracks, with a 75mm gun sticking out of the side and machine guns mounted up front. It was slow, poorly armored, and had awful mobility. But for its time, it was groundbreaking. This was where French tank warfare began. On the battlefield, it wasn't elegant, but it had a massive psychological impact, especially on German troops who had never seen anything like it. As for the Hobby Boss kit, the unique shape makes it stand out on the shelf. Surface details like rivets and armor texture are well done. It comes with individual track links, but they're manageable. Cons? No interior. So it's all about the exterior here. Some parts could benefit from photo etch upgrades if you're going for a contest quality build. Still, this is a fantastic kit for early armor enthusiasts. It's a tank that looks bizarre by today's standards, but played a huge role in history. A true French icon in steel. In third place, the Charb B1 BIS by Tamiya, arguably the most iconic French tank of World War II, and one of the best W22 kits in the Tamiya lineup. The Char B1 BIS was a heavy tank for its time. It weighed over 30 tons, had up to 60 millimeters of frontal armor, and carried two guns, a 75 millimeter howitzer in the hull and a 47 millimeter cannon in the turret. But the real twist? The commander was also the gunner, loader, and commander all in one. A true multitasker, French style. In 1940, the B1 BIS actually performed quite well. It could knock out German tanks and fortifications with ease. But as usual, there weren't enough of them. They were expensive to produce and hard to maintain. They didn't save France, but they earned respect. Now, the Tamiya kit. This is one of Tamiya's most enjoyable WTOYE builds. Superb fit. Almost a snap-together feel even without glue. Great detail on the hull, turret, and running gear. Comes with decals for multiple units and even a crew figure. Cons? No interior. And it uses rubber band-style tracks, though they look fine when painted and weathered. All in all, this isn't just a tank. It's a symbol of 1940 France. The kit is clean, fun to build, and full of character. If you're picking just one French War II tank to build, this should be it. At number 2, the Somua S35 by Tamiya, probably the most elegant-looking French tank of World War II. If the Char B1 BIS was the brute, the Somua was the graceful middleweight, like a Renault turned into armor. The Somua S35 entered service in the mid-1930s and became France's main cavalry tank. For its time, it was one of the best tanks in the world. Cast armor up to 47 millimeters, a solid 47 millimeter gun, and great mobility for its era. It could easily take on Panzer IS and early Panzer IS. But, like many French designs, it had the same old problem. The commander did everything himself. Now for the kit by Tamiya. It's a well-balanced kit. Clean, good-looking, and easy to build. The surface texture on the cast armor is especially well done. Decals include several unit markings, including the divisions that fought in northern France in 1940. Cons? No interior, as usual for Tamiya. And rubber tracks, though they look fine with a bit of paint and weathering. All in all, the Somua S35 by Tamiya is a great choice if you want to build a classic French tank without the stress. It's fun, sharp, and delivers great results. Perfect for beginners or anyone looking for a smooth, satisfying build. And in first place, the Renault FT17 from Meng. I'll be honest, this is one of my all-time favorite tanks, and when it comes to tank history, it's an absolute legend. The FT17 is literally the grandfather of all modern tanks. Why? Because it was the first tank to use the now standard layout. Engine in the back, crew in the front, and a rotating turret on top. It first rolled out in 1917 near the end of World War I. Despite its small size, the FT17 became the blueprint for 20th century tank design. It influenced everything from the early Soviet T-18 to American light tanks of the 1930s. Now, the main kit. It's a high-quality, well-detailed model, crisp rivets, accurate hatches, and a realistic surface texture. You get multiple turret options, machine gun or cannon. You can build it with or without interior detail, depending on your skill and patience. Downsides? It's small, so you'll need a steady hand for some of the finer parts. But overall, this is a fantastic kit. If you want to build something that's both historically significant and genuinely fun to put together, this is it. The FT17 by Mung is a tiny tank with massive legacy, a model that every armor enthusiast should consider building. All right, that's it for today. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, hit the bell, and drop a comment down below. Let me know what kind of videos you'd like to see next. Your feedback helps a lot and keeps this channel growing. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.